I think that it is important for me to state that when it comes to the operations of this new government, whatever we do is by the books. And for the purposes of education, when you see state security going to arrest a person holding guns, it is not simply because they fear that the person himself has access to guns or whatsoever. You do not know the intel available to them, especially when the person is politically exposed. So it is erroneous for you to create the impression that this is the first time that this is happening. It happened under His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. It happened under His Excellency President Mills. Happened under Mahama. Happened under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Because when it comes to the security of the state, they determine, the security officials determine, based on intel available to them, how to arrest certain people. We have just seen on TV the assault meted out to the police by overzealous supporters of the New Patriotic Party. So these things are done to ensure the safety of the police officers and even the suspect himself or herself. So let us not create the impression that since this government came into power, it's been engaged in using state security to hound NPP operatives. Absolutely not. That is why our law courts are there in your own language. If you are not happy with what is going on or you have concerns, take advantage of the law courts. Have you forgotten? You guys used to tell us that. But Annie, to the substantive issue. You see, it is important to make the point that this Wontumi issue must prick the conscience of the good people of this country for us to begin to have a rethink of our political process. Many of us believe that we have run our politics in such a way that it has become an attractive industry for criminal elements within our society to now take advantage of under the guise of pursuing political ambitions to protect their political or their criminal enterprise. And that is worrying. And even more worrying is that it appears that the New Patriotic Party appears to be the political party that attracts such characters. And I'll give you examples. Eric Amwatun, a sitting member of parliament, for the first time in the history of our country, was busted in cocaine deals under the same NPP, a member of the New Patriotic Party, only for us to be told later that he had been part of that syndicate for ages. And so even the decision to contest for parliamentary seats was simply intended to take advantage of our political process as an immunity to ply his trade. As if that was not enough. We woke up one day and were told, under mysterious circumstances, that an operative of the New Patriotic Party in the Central Region had auctioned all excavators seized by the same administration in the illegal fight against Galamsey, in the fight against Galamsey. We later on discovered that this was a gentleman who was even sought after by certain countries, largely because he break bond or jail. And once again, the NPP became an attractive destination for him. Then we woke up in 2013, 2014 to investigations being carried on by state security. Here I make reference to national security, into the activities of Wontumi then. Remember that then he was not the chairman of the New Patriotic Party in Ashanti region. The government started going after his activities as an illegal miner between 2013 and 2014. Then I'm told that the national security was also engaged in a collaborative effort with its international partners, trying to track his other related activities that were questionable. In the midst of all that, He took advantage of our political system, especially the New Patriotic Party, and launched his bid to become regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party, insulating himself and buying that political security to be able to continue with his activities. Are you therefore surprised that even in 2022, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, then the Honorable Abu Jinapo, had cause his own party member and Minister of State to issue a directive that he be stopped in terms of his illegal mining activities? It had to take President Akufo-Addo, in line with his clearing policy of appointees then, to clear Chairman Wontumi of wrongdoing.
How did he claim?
But remember, he claimed. He said that he was not engaged in illegal mining.
Yeah,
but you see, that is not the substantive
that's not
issue.
clearance. He said he's not engaged in illegal mining.
And Annie. So this is the kind of person we are dealing with. And this is how porous the NPP has allowed itself to be. People take advantage of it. All manner of people. And they provide them protection. And so for me yesterday, when I saw the likes of Afenyo-Markin, reputable lawyers, businessmen on the NPP side of the bench, seated on the floor, I told myself that this party is gone.
Oh, that's a
because if these are the caliber of
lawyers,
people,
they can't sit on the floor.
No, wait. If these are not just the act of sitting on the floor,
but what?
If these are the caliber of people that the likes of Wontumi, because people have questions to answer, this is how we allow ourselves, the political class, those of us who ought to know better, this is how we allow ourselves to be used in protecting individuals who actually need to be investigated, then we are in for trouble. It raises serious question marks about our own maturity and understanding as far as our democracy is concerned. Annie, what are we talking about here? We are talking about Wontumi. This is a gentleman who, for some strange reason and under fraudulent circumstances, we are told, secured millions of dollars from the Ghana Exim Bank, fraudulently misrepresenting that it was intended for a particular purpose and that was not used for their purposes. The money has been traced by our state security. In addition to that, this is a gentleman who for 8 years hijacked activities at Ghana Cocoa Board in terms of the road construction exercise. One of the contracts cost us about $45 million, Annie. Now investigations are revealing that even after taking these monies in the name of mobilization, these contracts were not executed. There are even serious allegations that the EOCO is looking into, where certificates were fictitiously created for Wontumi to be paid under the guise of actually executing contracts that he never executed with the Department of Federal Roads.
Oh.
In excess of millions of dollars. On the 8th of January, a day after His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama was sworn into office, an amount in excess of 60 million Ghana cedis. 60 million. We are talking about a bail bond of how much? 50 million. 60 million Ghana cedis on the 8th of January was transferred into the accounts of Wontumi.
So are these all
on the
allegations?
blind side, please.
No, I'm just asking, are these all allegations or you have the actual...
Can I, when you were speaking, I was quiet, please. I think that you are not the host of the show.
Okay. I was just curious.
60 million Ghana cedis transferred into his personal account under the guise of another payment on the 8th of January to the acting CEO then.
These are documents available to you?
Yes, and look, you see, Annie, on that same day, this gentleman again moved in excess of 39 million of that money into another questionable investment vehicle he has in the form of an insurance company. I'm not going to mention the name of the insurance company.
But these are allegations that have not been given to us officially by the investigative
bodies. I have my sources. Be patient. Be patient. You can verify that. You are a media man. Now, he moved substantial amount to that insurance company. And at the back of that, decided to proceed to buy government bonds And as I speak with you, I can assure you that this is a working government and that this government is following every detail of these allegations. And that is why his accounts have been frozen, including those bond investments. So we are not talking about something small. That is just like something negligible. That is not what we are talking about, Annie. And in addition to that, our international partners are also up in arms looking for Wontumi in other related matters of money laundering.
Does that put pressure on this government?
Absolutely not.
I mean,
absolutely not.
With the international partners,
absolutely not.
Monitoring how you are managing such issues in the country.
You see, it doesn't. You see, we have a mandate to execute. And I can assure you that when it comes to that mandate, we are not ready to shake. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC knows that people in the past died for less for us to build this democracy. And we have stated that we will not be partners in any effort aimed at destabilizing our democracy. Now, let me make the point that in the midst of all this, under our laws, Annie, Section 18 of the EOCO Act empowers the EOCO or gives the EOCO the powers of a police officer. So what it simply means is that under our criminal code, I think under Section 10 thereabout, EOCO, just like a police officer, also has the power to arrest without a warrant. And when you see them arresting somebody without a warrant, it does not mean that they are engaged in a Rambo-style arrest, as alleged by the New Patriotic Party. That's one. Secondly, under our laws, because they have the powers of a police officer, they are allowed, under the law, to grant police inquiry bail. It has nothing at this stage to do with the court bail that my brother spoke about. And in reaching that decision, they are permitted to consider the nature of the crime and the amounts involved.
So let me add this to it, and this is coming from, I don't have the permission to mention his name, but it's coming from a high personality within the judicial system. It says that, Annie, bail is just to guarantee the presence of the accused anytime he is needed by the state. However, we always match the figure of conditions against the alleged crime.
That's what I was talking
about. It is purely discretionary. The Republic versus Mike Nyineku was granted 200 million Ghana cedi bail. Nobody complained. He himself went to the court to appeal and had it varied downward to 50 million Ghana cedis, so which you could have done. So the best is to go to court and nothing else. Good morning. Right, so yeah.
I think that was the point I was making. Look, it is permissible within our laws for them to go to the High Court or the Circuit Court to demand a review of the bond set by EOCO. The way to demand such a review is not on television or beseech the offices of EOCO. And Afenyo-Markin ought to know better because he's a lawyer. So what they were engaged in yesterday, that hypocritical display of solidarity was simply intended to pursue their own individual ambitions, like I spoke about earlier. Because look at the lineup. Many of them are interested in occupying for party positions. From their general secretary who is seeking a retention to the likes of Afenyo-Markin. They all have individual ambitions. So for them, it was an opportune time to also use the guy's personal predicaments to show to their grassroots that they are there for them. But in actual sense, you know that the only way they can actually sincerely show that they are there for them is to get two of them to sign that bail bond for him. And they can do it.
I think Afenyo-Markin stated that when he went, that we're ready, he's ready.
No, he knows where to go. He says that all the MPs, they are not ready to bring any surety. but they are ready to sign.
No.
That is not the condition of the bail bond. You see,
not misrepresent
secondly,
what's on TV.
Please, let me make my point. When you were speaking, I was
with
quiet.
with
With the greatest of respect, can you respect your viewers?
Can I
Our
just
viewers?
make one
No,
point?
see, Annie, again, when you listen to the NPP, what are they talking about? That we do not respect the laws? These are the laws. They should point out one single breach of the law as far as this whole enterprise of investigation is concerned. This is a gentleman who used to, and the question, in fact, the question that I should even ask is, in all sincerity, what is the single most important contribution of Wontumi to our democratic progress, to the quality of our democracy?
That's an unfair statement.
No, I'll get to the point I'm making.
Very
please.
unfair.
I'm just giving you basis of how people take advantage of our political class. What is the single most important contribution?
Maybe you
that
may not know.
The state should stay off and allow him to continue pursue in alleged crimes. Pursue his. We wouldn't do that.
But that's not what the members of the party are asking for.
But you see, but they don't need to ask for that.
They're saying that.
Annie, you see, we must be careful when we are calling for people to be treated differently in this country. And that's the point I'm making.
Basic bill.
We wake up, please, honorable, at least honorable member. We woke up, under the NPP. He used to entertain everybody on TV.
Now you know him.
Now, he used to entertain everybody on TV. That is not hidden. But sometimes in an unacceptable manner. Condemnable. And you ask yourself the contribution of those utterances to the quality of our democracy. Now, this is the personality we are dealing with. Remember that he told all of us that, look, he's a confident guy. He can face the full rigors of the law. But I'm told that they have been searching for him for about 2 weeks. And that in one particular instance, he was caught when they were trailing him. Information was later provided because they got to a place and he was not there. And I'm told that information was provided later to the team that there was a toilet in there that he had to manage and go and hide in. I couldn't believe that the Almighty Wontumi would be found hiding in a toilet.
It's what you heard.
Yes. That is the truth. From the security agencies.
Yes.
Cross-check it, Annie.
That's your source. We don't know about that.
But that is the truth.
We don't know.
So, the most important thing is that we are dealing with the law. But that's the truth. We are dealing with, Annie, you know that I won't sit here and make unsubstantiated allegations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can forgive the NPP. Because you see, when they look at us, and they look at His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and his appointees, take certain actions to safeguard the integrity of this country. In their minds, we do so based on partisan motives. Because remember, in the last 8 years, whatever action they took was driven by partisanship. So they can be forgiven. In our quest to ensure accountability, when they see us going after their people and they think that way,
but why will you
take
these actions and claim that what they did was based on partisanship? Is that the same?
Because I'm telling you that if they are accusing us, same.
Okay.
So it is because that was what was in their mind. And I'll give you examples. What have they seen? They have not seen anything. Yes. There's enormous respect to their rights than they did to us. The likes of Kojochu Mbuafo had reported to EOCO not less than 33 times in the last 8 years. In fact, he was harassed to a point that the harassment was shifted to his mother. An elderly woman. Her house was ransacked. His brother's house ransacked. The woman was being forced to report daily to EOCO. And as we speak, the woman is bedridden because of sickness. As a result of what she was subjected to in EOCO. The likes of Kojo Bonsu. The likes. Yes. Of Betty Mojusu's younger brother, Alex Mold. They were reporting at EOCO on daily basis. Did you ever hear it? The likes of Kojo would still come and sit on this show and do their work for party and the country. They did not bitch around about it. They knew that, they accepted that the laws were working. Did you see any NDC supporters and our parliamentarians behaving the way Afenyo-Markin is doing? We allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do. So why is it that it's so difficult for the NPP to come to terms with the fact that
that's Kojo Chumbafo's.
They will not be stampeded. Yes, when he was arrested at the airport. And you know what the investigations finally ended on? About travel tickets when he was CEO of Free Zones Board. That was the center of those investigations and the level of harassment. They took it as men because they knew that they were engaged in service to a republic and that there would be questions like Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh indicated, questions for them to answer. But I can assure you and the NPP that, and I believe with every force at my command, and I say this with every force at my command, Annie, and within me, and respectfully, I believe I speak for the good people of this country when I say to His Excellency President Mahama that one of the fundamental pillars of his legacy after his presidency will not be the number of cheap compounds he has built, the number of schools or jobs he has created. One of the reasons why the good people of this country gave us this mandate was the issue of accountability. And if he is able to stay committed to that accountability drive as an intangible legacy, all other tangible legacies will stand on for generations to come. And knowing President Mahama, he is not going to waver, and his government will not waver when it comes to issues of probity and accountability.